Border Patrol agents dispatched to help conquer Chicago decided to take a time out of the brutality and have a little photo op opportunity. They've seen Kristi Noem doing it. She seems to have a lot of fun, so they decided to do it too. So they went to the Bean statue in Chicago, obviously a very significant landmark. And while Border Patrol photographers snapped photos, one agent shouted, "Everyone say Little Village, Little Village." The crowd shouts back. Little Village is a famous Mexican-American enclave on the southwest side. Federal immigration agents have repeatedly targeted the people that live and work there. They've tear gassed it, they've rounded up people. And now they get to have a fun moment by using it as instead of saying cheese, Isn't that fun? I don't understand why the American people are against these sorts of troops. They seem like such nice people who really respect the neighborhoods that they're crushing, the cities that they're invading. But anyway, so that looks really bad for them, I think. The overall numbers are looking bad for them too. So there's an investigation from a whistleblower into the levels of brutality, the sort of instances of violence from officers on the people around them. And they found that under the guy who's now in charge of ICE and under Border Patrol, this is Gregory Bovino. Apparently, under him, agents in the El Centro sector have used force far more often than they've been facing assault. So they use force over 3.6 times as often as they experience it. And that's sort of abstract because we've also seen what they classify as force being used against their troops. You bang on the hood of a car, you film them, and they talk about it as if it's an assault. But even if we pretend that all of these are actual physical assaults against them, they're dishing it out almost 4 times as often as they're taking it. And that is actually an even more disproportionate use of force than we've previously seen with Border Patrol. It used to be around a 2-to-1 ratio. It's gotten almost twice as bad under this guy. And so leadership does actually matter. I think the standards that are being given across from above do matter. And so you've got Bovino, but you also have Homan, you have Noem, Stephen Miller, Donald Trump. They're all being very clear that they don't care what these agents get up to, or to the extent that they do, they like seeing the tear gassing of 1-year-olds. They like seeing the brutality, the disappearances, the same sorts of incidents that are turning people against this policy nationwide. I don't think the leadership have any problem with. And so I think that's the reason that you see more of the brutality. These agents know that there's not going to be any punishment for these sorts of incidents. So of course they're going to resort to them more readily. And also, Jackson, I think that they are bringing in more people into ICE and Border Patrol that want to do these sorts of things. So I don't think these numbers should be a surprise to anyone, but what do you think?
Oh, they're definitely bringing in more people who want to do these sorts of things, particularly just the amount of 10,000 new hires. That's a lot of individuals, particularly for a job that most people don't want to do, especially not be publicly involved with. So we're definitely collecting the worst of the worst. I mean, you see pictures of people with masks on in Vans and Chuck Taylors on their feet. Like, who the hell are these people? But this also is kind of all the Trump administration's got in terms of what they can deliver on. They're not delivering economically, they're not delivering socially, and they're not going to. So what they can do is make a scene, make sure that they take photos of everything and actually cause a lot of damage, rip people apart from their families, illegally harass people. They can do that. But more and more, that's just like the 20 to 23% of Trump's base that really lights them on fire. But the rest of them are upset about how they can't afford their daily lives.
Yeah.
So this is all the Trump administration's got.
Yeah, I think, and it's important that you point that out. That the people signing up for ICE and Border Patrol, they love this stuff, and there are some people, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20, maybe it's 30%, that love to see the brutality. They want to see cities being conquered. They would love to see more citizens being rounded up. They love the brutality. They see a 1-year-old being tear gassed, and they don't see that 1-year-old as an actual human, so they don't care, and that's disgusting. But the fact that they like it, I think, is turning other people off who might not have been radicalized over the topic of immigration previously, but they see this and they don't like it. I mean, that's why Donald Trump's polling on this topic has gone down. And it wasn't a foregone conclusion that that was actually going to happen. It's possible that most people aren't seeing it in their day-to-day lives. They might just choose to ignore it, or they might have been as racist in the way they evaluate these acts of violence as many of these MAGA people are. But thankfully, that's not the way that it went. And the polling is going against Donald Trump. I think that there's going to be a strong mandate for some Democrat who comes into office in 2028 to massively defund ICE, to turn away from Border Patrol being dispatched all across America, to go in a very different direction. And Donald Trump, I think he's helping to provide that path forwards for some future Democrat who we will hopefully get.